You ready? Alright, so the crisis I'm going to be talking about today is shaken baby syndrome. Baby syndrome occurs when parents become upset with their infant crying. They become stressed out because the infant will not stop crying, and so they aggressively shake them. Most of the time, parents don't recognize that this shaking of their infant is shaking. They just see it as, oh, I'm aggressively rocking my infant. This is very terrible for infants, as this dog, who represents the baby. The back of the muscles in their neck are underdeveloped, so when you shake them like this, it's equivalent to being in a car accident and then getting rear-ended from the back and then hit from the front over and over again. There's no way for them to be able to support their head. Shaken baby syndrome is incredibly common. About 1,000 to 3,000 infants every year are subject to this maltreatment, with 80% of them receiving lifelong damage from it. These infants can have bleeding on the brain, bruising, and concussions from this treatment. So what the current community response to this phenomenon is to educate parents before they leave the hospital. Mothers and fathers often have not prepared for the stressors that having an infant who is chronically ill or mentally disabled will bring. Children under 1 and those chronically ill and mentally disabled children are much more likely to cry and to not be soothed. So those parents will need extra attention and education before leaving the hospital. Additionally, reframing to parents that they're not bad parents, and that their desire to soothe their child comes from a really good place is incredibly helpful, and not offending those parents. And also just showing them is just an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's how we like to perceive shaken baby syndrome. So what is the healthy response to an infant who won't stop crying? Now there's 2 levels of response. So the first level we want to do is we want to teach the parent that when the infant's crying and they won't stop, what we want to do is we want to sit down like this. So we're going to sit on the edge of a bed or a chair. We're going to have our legs like this in front of us. Our hand is under the infant's head. Meanwhile, the child is screaming. That's all right. We're going to put the infant in between our thighs like this, so that way, even if I'm stressed up here, the baby's head is still supported right here. So we're going to let our lower body do the work for us, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to recite the alphabet, or I'm going to recite a poem to myself. I'm just going to remain calm. Babies cry. They cry because they have no other way of communicating. They cry for all reasons, often reasons that we can't immediately fix. Crying is okay. Crying is babies talking, just very passionately. So if the infant is upset, just wait until you get through that. There's this little block of space between the parent becoming frustrated and the infant crying. The best thing, in shaking the infant, the best thing to do is to make that gap of space as wide as possible, and this helps to widen that space. We do have parents who will go like this and bounce their knees with the infant there because they're still stressed. Those parents need a much higher level of intervention. The phrase that we like to use is called, when the baby shouts, time out. So we can imagine that my infant is colicky, been crying for 3 hours, I've dinner on the stove, my husband's also stressed, and then the baby is the one receiving this, okay? What I want to do is I want to say, when the baby shouts, time out. I'm going to lay the baby on a flat surface, preferably one where there's not blankets that would suffocate the infant, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to time out. See how doing my arms like this makes it impossible for me to pick up anything? That's the point. I need to time out, and then I need to walk out. Okay? If I cannot do the knee bounce thing without also shaking the baby, then I'm going to need to time out. Learning when the baby shouts time out can create a better future for children under 1 that does not feature shaken baby syndrome. Thank you.